Welcome everyone to our Logos meditation on Wednesday, June 3rd of 2020. So today we will start exploring the passage of scripture that we will see, that we will explore once again this Sunday, June 7th. In this case, we're going to have the privilege of having Apostle Mareva Arnaud, who will be preaching live from Tahiti in French Polynesia. And the scripture reading that Mareva is going to explore comes from the book of Genesis, the Old Testament, and it's the very, very beginning of our scripture. It's the very beginning of our story. This is Genesis 1, and it's the whole chapter. But don't worry, today we're not going to read the whole chapter. Instead, I selected parts of Genesis 1, which is what Mareva will explore with a sermon on Sunday. And in addition to that, since our theme is sacredness of creation, I thought it would be a good opportunity to explore through this practice, through meditation, all the different creation stories. Perhaps not all, but a few of the creation stories that we find in our scripture, both in the Old and the New Testament, as well as one of the most ancient stories of creation that we have in our record, the Enuma Elish. This is a creation story that comes from Babylonia, a story that some scholars believe may have been well known to the authors of the Hebrew Bible, and some of the ideas that these Babylonians were considering perhaps 1,000 years before our Bible was composed. Well, these ideas had already been explored by these Babylonians in this story, the Enuma Elish, which means when on high. So we will explore this with our practice of Lectio Divina, divine reading today. And I would like to already welcome everyone who's joining this meditation circle tonight. I just want to make sure that I can hear myself. Perfect. So I would like to welcome Bill, Lancaster, Barbara, Vickery, Clavey. Good evening to you. Tom Weber, Karen Lee, music, Carolyn Martin. Hey, Carolyn. Beth Beecroft and Barb Walden. Well, thank you, Barb. There's a few of you who are joining us on YouTube. I'm not sure what your name is, but if you're there, please say hi. And if you're here on Facebook, also please say hi. And remember, so meditation, it seems like it's a practice where we just like hide our head inside under the sand, and we escape from the problems so that we can find a moment of peace. But that's not really what it is. We are hoping to just engage, to face what the moment to moment brings to our awareness. This is not escapism. We're not running away from our problems so that we can find a moment of peace away from this constant buzzing of the head. There might be a lot of that. There might be just your head might be racing during this meditation, and that doesn't mean that you're not having a good meditation or you're just wasting your time sitting on your chair. Anything may happen in your meditation, but one of the most important things is your intention. To have the intention of being present, to have the intention of going back to your breath, coming back to the present moment, coming back to the physical sensations, your senses, not just your eyes and ears, your like the sensations on your skin, internal sensations, your perception of the passing of time, and even the thoughts that you're having moment to moment, the feelings and emotions that seem to arise from moment to moment and change from one moment to the next. All that is your meditation. Your meditation is not a perfect time of no thought and complete peace. Every little interruption to our meditation is our opportunity to practice. So welcome all those distractions, every thought, every noise that comes from the room, from the kitchen, like here. Welcome it all. It's your opportunity to deepen your meditation. So without further ado, just find a comfortable posture. Notice your spine. Some of us might be a little bit tired already. It may have been a long day. So we just tend to get a little bit too cozy on our chair. As much as possible, lift up your body as you let your shoulders drop, as you bring your shoulder blades slightly together, as you rest your hands, as you rest your feet, as you relax your jaw without opening your mouth, as you tuck your chin in, only very slightly, don't do this. It's just as if you were just trying to reach even higher with the crown of your head. Imagine that you're trying to swallow your tongue. Like make a like a baby bird face for a moment. Like lift your chin and let your tongue just fall into your throat. And as you once again bring your chin back down, just make sure your tongue remains down there, relaxing your belly. And now if you can, breathe in and out only through the nostrils. And take a moment to see how that feels. So you don't want to do something that is going to sound like this. This is not what we're going for. This is not cardio. Your breath has to be very gentle. So if you start noticing difficulty, noises as you breathe in and out, you can help with your mouth. Relax. Open up your nostrils. Don't tighten your nose. Gentle breath. Naturally, as you bring yourself to the awareness of the present moment, as you allow yourself to let go of whatever may happen before and whatever may happen next, very, very gradually, one breath at a time, your core muscles will start to give in and relax. Make sure you don't collapse the spine. Your heartbeat may decrease, even your blood pressure might go down. And all that will allow your breathing cycle to slow down. It will allow you to welcome more air as you breathe in. It will allow you to let go of all that residual air that always remains at the bottom of your lungs as you breathe out. So make sure that this flow of breath is very constant, very gentle. It should feel relaxing, even healing. Close your eyes if it helps. Otherwise, let your vision rest in a fixed spot. And now continue to bring your attention your full awareness to your breath and the moment to moment. In our first reading of Genesis 1, the very opening of our scripture, of our Bible, allow yourself to just let go of all previous understanding, interpretations, assumptions that you may have. Continue to follow your breath. Continue to bring yourself to the present moment whenever distractions arise. Relax your shoulders. And as I read, as you listen to my voice, as you listen to the story, just imagine the scene, the sights, sounds, even odors, emotions that might be involved. Allow yourself to enter the scene. In the beginning, when God began to create the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while the Ruach Elohim, a wind from God, a mighty wind, the Spirit of God, swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Gently bring yourself back fully to the awareness of your breath. Continue to allow your spine to always lengthen, very perpendicular to the ground, as if from the very crown of your head, a string attached to the top of your head, we're gently pulling you up, very gently lifting you up. You're reaching higher and higher with every breath, completely effortlessly, as if lifted by a gentle force, a gentle hand from above. And at the same time, allow every cell of the body to be completely vulnerable to the force of gravity, falling, scalp falling, facial muscles falling, your brain inside your skull falling, eyeballs inside their sockets falling, the tongue sinking inside your throat, the shoulders falling, pulled down by the weight of your arms, the belly relaxed and falling, your hands fully relaxed, pressing over your legs. your internal organs falling, your center of gravity descending closer and closer to the earth, your legs, feet, even toes, fully relaxed. Ancient people all around the world, in many different civilizations, many different parts of the world, had similar words for what we call wind, breath, and spirit. The Hebrew word ruach means all those three: wind, breath, spirit. Even in other languages like Greek, breath, spirit, soul, pneuma, and Latin, anima. This is soul, the breath, the wind. In Hindu, Atman, essence, breath, soul. So allow yourself to play around with this multiple meanings of the word breath. Breath, spirit, wind from God, mighty wind, as one and the same thing. Scholars of comparative sacred stories have pointed out this motif that appears in creation stories from around the world, and it's present in the one that which is considered the struggle against chaos, Chaoskampf in German. A deity or a hero, a benevolent force bringing light to where is darkness, bringing order over chaos, entering the waters, entering the deep. In our next reading, we are going to consider a psalm, Psalm number 74. It's another creation story that we have in the Bible. Now imagine this text, imagine this as a scene, as part of the scene that we read before, as going deeper into what happened in just a few sentences in the first reading. But in this case, instead of simply envisioning the scene in your mind, just remind yourself of these multiple meanings. See if you can go beyond just the imagery that the author of the Psalm 74 is presenting to us, and dive deeper as the psalm takes us deep into the primordial waters where God is going to defeat chaos, enemies, monsters. Just try to read between the lines and understand imagery as metaphor, allegory, an allegory of the mind, perhaps diving deep into the waters, the dark waters of our unconscious mind. Continue to follow your breath, continue to let go of all distractions, always bringing yourself back gently, as many times as needed, to the word and your breath. Yet God my King is from old, working salvation in the earth. You divided the sea by your might. You broke the heads of the dragons in the waters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan, the fleeing serpent. Leviathan, the twisting serpent. You gave it as food for the creatures of the wilderness. You cut openings for springs and torrents. You dried up every flowing stream. Yours is the day, yours also the night. You established the moon and the sun. You have fixed all the bounds of the earth. You made summer and winter. Gently bring yourself back to the awareness of your breath. Continue to awaken to every aspect of the present instant where your consciousness is taking place. This timeless yet eternal moment where past and future meet. Without ever holding your breath. If possible, see if you can especially focus your attention on the transition between out breath and the next breath in, without holding your breath, without forcing air out or in. See if you can find that timeless instant that the ancient mystics called surrender. No mind, no self, as you completely surrender the gift of the Spirit, this mighty wind from God, back to its source. If your eyes are open now, I invite you to gently close them, because our third reading is a time of introspection. It's a time to see what's going on within, what's going on in your life today. This is a time to pause and see what arises as you allow the word to flow in and out of your life, as you allow the Spirit to continue to flow through mind and body, healing and soothing one breath at a time. This third reading comes from the Enuma Elish, from Babylonia, the Babylonian creation story, one of them. It's a very ancient, much more ancient, perhaps, than the story of Genesis. Yet there are many elements in common that you may or may not notice, but that doesn't matter, because this is a time to let the word flow and pay attention to your own reaction to it. Even your thoughts, even your feelings, even your physical sensations. Just let the word work through life, through your life, mind and body. Ancient people of the Near East had a sense that reading scripture could bring healing. So if it helps for you, allow the word to even heal as it flows through mind and body today. When on high, heaven was not named, and the earth beneath did not yet bear a name, and the primeval fresh waters who begat them, and chaos, the ocean, the mother of them both, their waters were mingled together, and no field was formed, no marsh was to be seen. When of the gods none had been called into being, and none bore a name, and no destinies were ordained, then were created the gods in the midst of heaven. Now reconnect with your breath. Reconnect with your physical sensations. Reconnect with this moment. And in the silence, in the timelessness, open up your ears, open up your mind, open up your heart, open up all your senses to start hearing a centering prayer. A centering prayer that is going to be yours, that is going to be personal today. It might be a short prayer, just a few words. It might be just one word. It might be a part of a song, a hymn, a mantra. Might be non-verbal at all. But don't look for it. Let it come to you. Simply dwell in the present moment, one breath at a time. Let the centering prayer arise. And if it does, offer gratitude. If it doesn't arise, offer gratitude as well. Our last reading comes from the New Testament. It's the opening of the Gospel of John, another creation story. Perhaps a little bit more symbolic than the one of Genesis. But once again, let go of trying to understand, trying to analyze with reason and intellect, with these high functions of our brain, our left prefrontal cortex. Let go and allow the word, John chapter 1, to fully flow through mind and body. Not just the brain, but the whole body, every cell. Let it enter every cell of your body, one breath at a time, one word at a time, led by the Spirit as you welcome the breath, the Spirit, the wind from God, this mighty wind of creation in your life, one breath at a time. Make no effort at all. No effort to understand the words, symbolism, metaphor, or even to see how you yourself react. Just be. And in being, fully present, fully aware of the moment to moment, just allow yourself to be vulnerable, to enter in communion with God. In the beginning was the Logos, and the Logos was with God, and the Logos was God. The Logos was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through the Logos, and without the Logos, not one thing came into being. What has come into being in the Logos was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. In the last few moments of this meditation, allow yourself to fully dwell in the present breathing cycle, in the moment to moment, even the timeless instant when you're done exhaling before you take the next breath in. And if you found your centering prayer for today, then say it to yourself, one breath at a time, out loud or in silence. And if you haven't found it, simply remain quiet, still, and at rest, and let go. Do less. Free the mind. Be with God in this moment. I would like to acknowledge the presence of all of you who have come together today as this virtual meditation circle. I also acknowledge the presence of those of you who are meditating with us, just watching a recording. So I'm going to offer my gratitude for you for being here today with a bow, and I welcome you to do the same, acknowledging the presence of all those of you who have come to help each other's practice today. Thanks again, and as I mentioned at the beginning, this Sunday, June 7th at noon Eastern Time, Apostle Mareva Arnaud, live all the way from Tahiti in the French Polynesia, will consider once again the creation story that comes from our scripture, in this case through a sermon that she's going to deliver for our Beyond the Walls community. I think it's going to be like Canadian style in French and English. We'll see, but definitely there will be captions for everyone to follow. So I really hope to see you there, and I wish you have a peaceful end of this day, and just please stay safe and healthy until we see each other again. Thank you. Namaste, Marisela. Good to see you. Also welcome Allison, Leon, Barbara Landers, Justin, Jim Lambert, Sharon, Burnett, Brad, Erilyn, Noel. Thanks everyone. Just give us a like and a share to help us grow this virtual meditation circle. Okay? Have a great end of your day.